Alrighty, well, we have quite the busy day ahead. We've got some work to do, a decent bit of work to do, and we got some fun stuff to do. We're gonna do some car ripping and some racing, and again, work to do. So, we've been prepping the LS Miata for the Clutch Kickers 100K Drift Series this weekend. We're leaving tomorrow. So, I've got this thing pretty much all buttoned up. I replaced my diff bushing. I got another one. I got washers now. They had forgot to send the washers originally, so the bushing split. I added some grease to my axle. It was getting a little bit of slop. I was gonna rebuild my spare set, but it turns out from when the diff dropped out of this thing, the shafts are toast. So I gotta get new shafts before I can do that. So we're going no spare axles, but we should be all right. But otherwise, this car is I'm not gonna say it's completely ready. I think it's ready. I think it's ready to go. So we just need to load it up. So that's easy. So there's been a lot of little projects lately that I've had that I've just kind of been doing in my spare time. It's just quicker to just knock them out. They're not huge projects, it's little stuff I want to get done. But I have done quite a good bit to the Subaru. So we're gonna take this thing for a rip today, and I wanna show you guys what I've done to it so far before we do that. So for those of you unfamiliar with this car, it is a 2000 Subaru Impreza GC chassis. It's got a 2000 WRX motor with an STI turbo, intercooler, 1000cc injectors, tune. So yeah, we've just kind of finally recently got this car sorted out mechanically. We got good wheels and tires on it. We got the tune done. We still have some exhaust leaks, which kind of are compromising the tune, but it runs decent. So most of what I've done has been in the interior department. So I love the interior of this car. When I got it, it came with these JDM Tiger Stripe seats. These seats are awesome. They're super bolstered. But they're also very comfortable. So they hold you in great when you're ripping around on a back road, and they're factory seats. I love it. And it matches the car. The car's red, they're red. So what we've done in here so far, we got this column cover replacement. So we didn't have one of these. So it's just kind of like open here. You saw the inner workings of the stalks and stuff, and it just looked terrible. And I wanted one for a while. I bought one from a guy in Canada. He sent me the wrong one from an older model. He was supposed to send me the right one and then kind of flaked on me. So I was waiting for that for a while, finally gave up on that. Found one on eBay, ordered it, got it on, night and day difference. The other big thing, this cubby. So the top area here was like all destroyed, like all of this was broken off. One of the hinges was broken. So I found this one on eBay, and it is mint. It's even got like the velvet inside. It's got the caps for where the screws are. Super nice piece. I'm stoked on that because I don't know, it's such a neat place to put stuff like your wallet or putting the cob in there or whatever. I love this cubby. I think it's such a unique little feature to this car. The interior lights have never worked in this car. And I was like, I don't know, because we had to take the entire car interior apart, take the entire chassis harness out, get it sent out sidewire, have them do a merge service to work with the WRX engine, put it all back together, and I didn't think I missed any plugs, but what happened was this A-pillar right here, the wiring comes down, and then there's a plug right around here. Someone had cut it right at the A-pillar and then put spade connectors on. So basically, like, you could barely get the wires out of the A-pillar plastic. So I took this stuff apart, contorted my arms, origamied them up there, and finally got everything hooked up. I need to do it a little better, but we have interior lights now, which is so satisfying because I've been daily in this car a lot, and driving in at night with no interior lights sucks. You get in, you can't see anything. You got to use your phone light. So that's nice. The sunroof does operate now. It's definitely getting power, but for some reason it goes like moves just a tiny bit and stops. So I'll have to figure that out, but at least all this stuff's getting power now, so that is extremely good. The last and coolest thing we did was put my Vertex wheel in here. So I've had this wheel in the Miata. I kept it in there even though I kind of wanted to upgrade to a little bit bigger of a steering wheel. This is a 330. I normally like a 350, but I kept it in there because it's such a nice wheel and I really like it, and I didn't want it to go to waste. But then it dawned on me I could use it in this car, and it is like the perfect wheel for this car, because it's got the red stitching, the car's red, we got the Tiger Stripe seats, it suits the car perfectly. So I'm really stoked on getting that in. I got just a normal hub adapter, no need for a quick release in this car. Got it on, night and day difference. Steering wheels, shift knobs, seats make such a big difference in how a car feels, because it's how you're engaging and interacting with the car. So I'm really happy about this. I do still wish it was a little bigger. It feels a little small in here. But I like it. I definitely really like it. Suits the car. So yeah, anyway, we got all that little stuff done. It's super satisfying. Like I said, I've been driving this car around a bunch. It's definitely the best modified daily I've had in a while. But I tell you all this to say, we're gonna go for a rip. Reason being, old Benny boy bought himself a little daily fun street driver car ripper deal. So he's been looking for a Smurf Blue Miata like this for a very long time. He finally found one with the matching Smurf Blue hardtop. And he had some nice Exita coilovers lying around. They're Miata specific, like track coilovers. So he had those off of a parts car. He put those on. He put some sway bars on. He's gonna do RPF ones and some decently sticky tires on it too. But for now, it's at least got coilovers and sway bars. He has on stock tires, but I mean, it's a Miata. They handle great. So naturally, he wants to take it for a rip, and we have a really good for Florida back road not too far away from us. And you know, I've taken the Subaru there, but the last time I took the Subaru there, I was on stock wheels and tires with like freaking snow tires, and it was untuned, it had exhaust leaks, it ran like crap. Like, it didn't make really any boost until like 6,000 RPM. It was super peaky, didn't dig out of the corners because of it. It was kind of a nuisance to drive. It wasn't really that fun. So now the car, you know, makes good mid-range power. It's really responsive, and we've got nice wheels and 235 Nitto NT05, you know, 200 tread wear sticky tires. So should be a whole new animal. I'm really excited to take this thing on that road and get to go rip with Ben. So before we get into the hard work of today, let's go have some fun. It's spooling out of the turns. Oh, it's so fun. This little section is beautiful. Should have been a good spot to stop and get a picture. So fun. Man, I love this car. All right, now that we're back home, let's, I've got a little project I want to do on the FC before we start loading up the Miata and doing all the other not as fun stuff. Ugh. thing to check for on an LS is the spark plug wire that came off. Because even on 7 cylinders, it's almost hard to notice it's misfiring because you still got 7. Seems like we're good there. It might be okay. LS is generally run pretty rough until they've got a little heat in them. So it's at 140 degree coolant temp now. It's probably all right. So back to the project at hand. So I've just been running the stock handbrake in this car. It's simple. It works decent enough. I definitely might eventually put a hydro in it, but for now it works. The problem is it locks. So you can't really rely on yourself holding the button up, especially like in tandem. There will be a time where your finger slips off and you leave the handbrake up, and that sucks. I just tape it up with electrical tape. But then when I go to put it on the trailer, I can't lock it. When I go to park it somewhere to let it warm up, I can't lock it. So I gotta take the tape off. So we're gonna resolve that with a very simple yet effective mod. You guessed it, a drift button. So I knew I had one of these lying around. I was looking for it for a while, and I finally found it when I was just cleaning and organizing. So I'm stoked to finally get to put one on here. It'll make life a lot easier. So slide the grip off, unscrew our button to get our spring out. Screw the knob back on. Well, I ended up having to press the drift button onto the RX-7 button because it was a little too big. I could have ground down the button, but then it might get too loose, so I just pressed it on in the press, but works great now. And then you want to park. Boom. And now I know it's tight. I know I've driven some cars with drift buttons, and it's like you go to push the button out and the button pops off. Didn't want that, so sweet. We got that working good. Well, we do have more to do to the FC other than a simple drift button install, but I'm going to hold off on that for right now. If we have time a little bit later today, we'll do it, but for now we have more pressing issues. Also, Ben is driving this around a Clutch Kickers. I don't know that I told you guys that, but he's driving...
Clutch Kickers official kill switch.
Driving the old beat. Oh my God, this is... I thought this was just sitting here. This is for real. This is really where you're... All right. So now he's painting his cage.
It's a theme build, Taylor.
Theme. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll go with it. But anyway, now he's painting his cage, getting that all cleaned up. What else do you got to do?
Basically just coil pack, valve cover gasket, clutch slave, and let her rip.
Sweet. So yeah, he's almost done.
Brake, so Taylor won't feel that anymore.
It was bad, dude. It was bad. The clip came out,
so the rod just came all the way out.
Yeah.
So forward, then you had to like.
At least the dash stopped it from coming all the way out.
True.
And then also, since he's coming, he's gonna bring the RV. So he's gonna tow his car up there with the RV. So we'll have the RV there. So that's super exciting. As he's driving, I've got Steven coming to be my crew. So that should be really interesting. He's definitely like a good crew. He crews for Matt all the time, spots for him and stuff. So it'll be interesting to have him along, and should be fun to have the RV there. I'm excited. This is gonna be a good round. But speaking of that, I wanna go ahead. Oh, it's gonna rain though. I want to go ahead and start loading up. I want to get most of my stuff loaded up, get it out of the way as early as I can, because I hate being like last minute and rushing and loading up in the dark. So let's do it now. I did in my spare time was put new safety chains on my trailer. This truck squats a lot when I got a bunch of wheels and tires in it and the car loaded forward. So the chains drug the ground and eventually broke the hooks off because they kept getting knocked off. But so I fixed some of my wiring because that got drug, and then I put new nice chains on it, new hooks and everything, got those welded on. Now we are safe again with our safety chains. Oh, and I painted my tire rack bar as well. All right, got pretty much everything. We got 8 wheels and tires here, 6 more here. Those 2 are just like spare fronts. Those are the fronts I used last time, just in case we have an issue with our fronts or get hit or something like that. And then the rest are drift tires. We definitely shouldn't go through all of these, but you never know. I haven't driven the track enough to be certain that we don't need this many and that we could get away with less. We'll find out in time how much we can get away with. Before I strap those down, I want to get the car on the trailer so I can move them out of the way, strap it down, and then strap them in. Let's do it. So I was about to put this thing on the trailer, and then I remembered we had to get a windshield replaced. So the windshield guy showed up, knocked this out real quick. No more cracked windshield, but we will need to get a new banner. And we lost our little stickers, which is unfortunate. I had a Grid Life one and a Tech one for clutch kickers. I'm trying to see, my ECU's not turning my fans on. Basically, last round, I did the oil change after the last round. Had a lot of E85 contamination. I realized it was because my oil temps never really got above 140, 150, so they weren't getting hot enough to burn off the moisture in the E85. So I need to figure that out. Sandy, you gonna go to clutch kickers with us? No? Why not? All right, so I got my fan temp situation fixed. I just had to reset the parameters in the PMU. Got that done. I increased the temperature, so hopefully we'll burn off more of the E85 this time. Won't get such contaminated oil. Sandy, ready to load up or what? Yeah, all right. Well, I gotta, just give me a second. Let me film this clip, and you can load her on up. So. Always a satisfying feeling when you finish loading up. We got 30 gallons of fuel, a bunch of tires, tools. We don't have that much in spare parts. We have simple spare parts, just stuff we could easily replace, wiring stuff, things like that. Coil packs, plug wires. But yeah, all loaded up, ready to go. Truck's not squatting as bad as usual because we don't have so much weight in the bed like we normally do. So it should be a little bit nicer of a ride. It doesn't do too bad even when it's like almost bottomed out. So no complaints. I will say every time I try to load all my stuff up on this trailer, it really makes me that much more motivated to get the Fummins build done and start using my big enclosed trailer again, because then I can keep like pretty much everything I can think of as spares in there. I mean, I can keep a spare trans in there, lines, fittings, snap rings, like everything I could think of. Whereas now I really have to be picky with what I bring and how many tires I bring, and I'm not bringing my pit bike, so because I don't want the truck to squat too much and be uncomfortable. I've really got to plan it out. Whereas at that, I can keep all my crap in there and just freaking throw the car in there and go. So anyway, now it's time for some more fun. Time to go do some racing. So we're headed to League Night. So for those of you who don't know what League Night is, basically it's rental gas outdoor go-kart racing. So normally when you go do rental outdoor, whatever, indoor, outdoor gas go-karts, you're racing your friends for the best time or whoever for the best time. You're just trying to put down the fastest lap. You're not necessarily racing each other. You might race a little bit, but that's not the goal. The goal is to put down the fastest lap. This is racing. So you have a qualifying / practice session, and then you have 2 races. Now the cool thing is it's a different layout every single week, and usually the first race is forward on that layout, second race is reverse. Now that makes things really interesting because since it's a different layout every week, a lot of times it's a layout you may have never driven. Now you get that practice qualifying time to learn the layout, then you go into the race, knowing the layout, having some experience on it. But then when it goes to reverse, you may have never driven that way at all. You may have no experience going on that layout in reverse, and your first laps on it are in the race. So it gets really interesting. It keeps people, the different layouts makes it more fun because it's changing every time, and obviously you can't just be like the guy who has 1,000 laps on the track and knows it like the back of your hand. So there's usually about 25, 26 people there. So they split it into 2 groups. There's the A main and the B main. A main is top 12, 13 guys. B main is the bottom 12, 13 guys. So they do give you a couple chances for redemption. So let's say you get taken out in the first turn of the first race and you're pretty much out for the count. You're racing, but you're in the back of the pack. You're not not going to have time to catch up to the leaders. Your fastest time from the first race sets your start position for the second race. So you could finish dead last, but if you got the fastest time of that session, of that race, you could start first for the next race. So that's really cool. And then also the B main, if you finish first or second in the B main, you get to start in the very back of the A main. So that's really nifty because while all the karts are the same and they try to even them out as best they can, there is a pretty big variance. I would say there's probably like same driver, same everything, 2.5, maybe 3 second on like a minute lap variance between the fastest and the slowest kart. You know, because I mean, you gotta think about it. There's people who don't know what they're doing and are out there for the first time, just beating the snot out of these things, sending them off track, bending tie rods and stuff. You know, they'd have to rebuild the karts before every league night to make them all 100% even. And this motor is new and this motor is tired. So there is a variance. So because of that, it's nice if you get a bad kart, you qualify into the B, finish first or second, then you get to start in the A, and maybe you get a good kart then and can work your way up from the back. So it's a lot of fun. I really love doing it. It's a blast. There's a good group of guys up in the A. You know, I'd say the top 8-10 guys are all real close. Like given the same kart, same circumstances, we would all be probably within a tenth of each other. So it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. So it's about time to head out. So we're gonna go there and do some racing. If you're not interested, give it a shot. Give it a shot. See what you think. Let me know in the comments below. Let's hit the road. Okay, we had a really bad qualifying kart. Wow, this one turns. We're good. Oh, that's so much better. Oh, we're gonna be fine. Woo! So the kart we had for qualifying, usually when these karts have a bad handling problem, it's that they'll understeer really bad when you turn one way, and then the other way they'll be super twitchy. I think it's because of a bent tie rod. I don't know what really causes it, but the kart I had for qualifying would not turn right to save its life. It just understeered to the right, and the hardest turns on this track are to the right. So that was pretty unfortunate. We tried to work through it, but we managed to qualify 4th in the B main. 4th in the B main. That's like 17th. I think it's the worst I've ever qualified at league night. So this track's really tight. Basically, I just need to get into first or second place. It's a long story. But anyway, I might have to pull some dickheadish passes to do so, because this track is really not passing friendly. Like I said, big headish maneuvers. Alright, so I've made it into second. That's all I needed to do. First or second, doesn't matter. You don't get anything more for first or second in the B main. It's just we both want to move up to the A group. The guy in front of me in first currently is it's someone who's normally in the A group with me as well. So our goal is really to just stay in these positions, finish the race, move into the A race. So we kind of just are cruising. We're not battling each other, and we start pulling a decent gap on third place. You know, probably 5, 6, 7 second gap. Everything's going fine. But then we catch traffic. Beep, beep! And more traffic. So the problem is, a lot of these people don't realize that we're lapping them. They think that we're other people that were behind them, and they try to hold us off, and that's when things get really hectic. Come on! As I said, hectic. So another guy who started in first, who I passed and ended up in second, has now passed me, and we're both trying to make our way through this jumbled mess of people that we're lapping. So I'm trying to tell him, like, hey, we're good. I'm not going to try to pass you. Like, don't keep worrying about me and trying to defend. Like, let's just cruise through here and just keep chilling in our positions. So the thing that sucks about lapping people is if you get caught up behind them for too long, the person who may have been way behind you can catch up to you quick, or if you were close to the guy in front of you, you might get caught up while he just pulls away from you. So this is kind of becomes an extreme example of somebody who's being lapped and is not doing what they should be doing. If they're getting lapped, they should be moving out of the way. This girl we're lapping for the second time now, and she does not want us to get by her. So my helmet cam got knocked down, but basically she's doing everything she can to not let me buy her on purpose. And I mean, it was pretty frustrating because you're like, dude, this is literally the second time I'm lapping you. Please just let me go. But yeah, so after this, there's nothing really that interesting. We finished in second. Now it's going to time to start in the back of the A main. So now we're starting in the back of A, and we're going to see what we can do. It should be fun because at least we'll have our work cut out for us to do decent. Oh man, this is a good race. Lots of entertainment. Oh shit. So the group of karts ahead of us is first through fifth place, I believe, or first through fourth. It's the leaders of the group. So my goal now is to try to catch up to the pack. So TJ got hit or spun out or something. He was in the lead actually, and he ended up back in fourth place, I think, fifth place. I can't remember. But anyway, I'm definitely a little bit quicker than him. So my goal is to get past him as quick as I can and try to work my way up to the rest of the group. Stop going for the pass there. And by this point it's dawned on me, I shouldn't be trying to pass him. Let's work together until we catch up to the group, and then we can duke it out. Because when you're battling, you're slowing each other down. One person's trying to defend, the other person's taking a weird line to try to get past him. It slows you both down. So we finally caught up to the guys in the front, running in the front, and now we're in the mix. We're in the mix for battling for first, second, third. However, we're going into the last lap now, and the laps are like 30 seconds. So basically, we blew our shot. I blew our shot by not working with him earlier. If I had, we would have caught up sooner, and who knows, we probably could have battled our way up into the very front. But, you know, it's just one of those things with racing. It's really, you got to be strategical about it.
My eyes are getting sandblasted, but my lens is too messed up on my helmet. That was a good race. I think we might have got 4th from like 12th or 13th. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure those guys are in the front. I should have started working with TJ earlier. That would have been the key. instead of trying to pass him just to pass somebody else, I should have started kind of pushing him and going with him like I did for the second half of the race, where we were just kind of working together and we caught up. We were flying because we caught up quick, if that's fourth. I'm not sure if it is or not, but this thing's got like a, oh, it doesn't turn right very good. This thing's got like a weak clutch in it.
So our time was fast enough to qualify us for second. I think we were only like 100th of a second off of first place. But I'm about to find out that this is a very bad kart. It has virtually no motor at all. You'll see. Literally freight train. This is pretty much how the rest of the race goes. As soon as we get to the uphill section, the car just doesn't have the power and everyone just pulls on up the hill past me like I'm freaking standing still. There is one more interesting moment though, where this guy tries to pass me and he goes way too hard. He came in way too hot, and the results are pretty hilarious, you'll see. And that's pretty much it for our night of weed night. Win or lose, it's always a lot of fun. I really enjoy going and doing weed night and racing with these guys. It's always fun. Good, clean, but yet intense racing, you know, and you never know what's going to happen because there's the wild card of what cart you're going to get and all that. So definitely a good time. Let me know what you guys thought of the karting stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys for the next video. We're going to be at the Clutch Kickers Drift event, battling our way and having some fun. So I hope to see you guys for that one. But for now, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Goodbye.